I am completely unprofessional with that sort of thing. As in, I just made a video and messed up. As in, I had to delete it because as I was sitting here talking about Fred Durst, I'm on here altering the screen in which I'm sitting on pertaining to the coverage and all the rest. I'm saying I was sitting up here speaking and altering stuff and then messing up, well, thinking, well, how did that get there? What I made the mistake of putting it on the screen when it shouldn't have been there. Yes, and me having to take it down by me even deleting the video. So let's try to do this again. This represents real life, as in there's no, yes, with the editing department it is and was, right? But me coming back and me saying it in this video to say I am completely imperfect, as in to be shown with that and expressed. So to want real, what is it? To want real fake or whatever else is to go watch MTV or something. I don't know. That's a love, yes, a love and support shout out to even MTV. Possibly TL, yes, TRL and all the rest, right? But I'm just saying, I come real with that. So, Fred Durst. Oh, like, subscribe. See what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two and combine them together. Yes, Discovery Go and ID Go. I couldn't even find my own sports bra strap before I got on this camera. Not that, no. That just means my mouth is hanging wide open with that sort of thing over what I just said. The shout out to Fred Durst. Where is he? This is in fact a kidnap report. It's an Amber Alert on Fred Durst. The man and kid himself, because the work in entertainment is to say you're going to be highly childlike with even that entertaining the masses. Fred Durst himself. So Fred Durst. Whoops, wait. I wrote all this, yes, by hand myself. There's none of that, as in there's no, where people try to be cheap. Talking about they want to do this and that in life, and then they don't want to put in the effort with that sort of thing. That's how you don't go far. But yes, Fred Durst. He in fact filed for divorce September 2018. That was most recently, right? And yet we ain't seeing and still hearing from him. And the interesting thing about that is a Fred Durst. For many of y'all or those that don't know, Fred Durst loved to in fact sit on a Twitter account. He likes to be on social media in relation to him posting fine classic cars, and yet not various make and models of cars, just one type of car. I call him the paddy wagon. The escape mobile like they had in Halloween. Michael Myers in fact drove. Yes, the type of vehicles Fred Durst in fact liked to post and all that on social media. The old school station wagon that like the Brady Bunch or somebody would roll in. He posts a lot of those on and on and on, yes, with a little caption to go with it. Fred Durst, in fact, is a highly strange caliber individual. His mindset, I'm saying, because to not posting nothing else over your family or what you're doing and all the rest with that and just be posting old station wagons is to say he fit right in with even Hollywood as well. And possibly don't, which could be why people are... Yes, fans question, well, why is he just posting cars and nothing? What is going on with that? Because people sometimes want their presence there in social media, and yet they don't always want you in their private business. So to just run an account and have something there is to show the proof that you're in fact there, and yet you don't want people to see and know on the inside, which is sometimes why famous people do that sort of thing, posting just cars and nothing else in relation to themselves. And not even being in media with that Fred Durst. So that's public relations skills from my own end to you, the viewer. If you don't know, now you do. So, yes, APB is in fact needed for a Fred Durst. Yes, it is. He was in fact the lead singer for the group. Should I say singer, or maybe I should say something else? Because to be even impressionable or impressed, is impressionist a word? Impressionistic, is that a word? Tell me, viewer, with that. rock artist, rapper, singer, whatever, right? Fred Durst was in fact, yes, lead of the group Limp Bizkit. The names individuals in fact contain and console and hold, even away from the media. Limp Bizkit, when I get to thinking, because see, he's standing there, yes, like Vanilla Ice or something, right? He's vanilla, right? But not vanilla Ice, no, just the skin tone, right? And yet to have a name go undetected by the masses, as in not being questioned by the masses, Limp Bizkit, because that sort of name can represent all type of odd objects when you're like light like a biscuit. And you're saying that the biscuit is in fact limp. See what I'm going with this? That's a play on words with that. Even his own target audience, their group, I'm saying, when it was or is and all the rest, I haven't, in relation to Limp Bizkit, listened to their music, so I don't know what's going on, because remember, Fred Durst is not there enough to say the proof aspect. But this being Mr. Limpy and biscuits and soup and crackers, no, not crackers, that's a, I should in fact edit that out, but that slipped out of my mouth. That don't mean white folks is crackers. No, that's not that sort of thing. People gonna take that. I could say black folks is in fact Oreos or Coons and all that. That's not the intention, no. Because remember, I mentioned soup. When I say stuff and stuff slip out of my mouth, people in fact, yes, it in fact makes people uncomfortable, and it in fact should. That's in fact make you, the viewer, less sensitive. Because there are in fact individuals out in this world that can't take too many things, and yet real life is in fact real. People are in fact out here highly sensitive people. So no, I'm not editing that out because that was not racist. No. To know that crackers go with soup and all the rest is to just say. And even crackers in fact goes with biscuits, because bread and yeast and all the rest. So the Limp Bizkit pertaining to that sort of thing. What does the name in fact mean with that? I'm saying, because I'm trying to understand who Fred Durst was and all the biscuits and all the rest and the dough with that. Somebody, they're going to be mad. Oh, won't you call blacks a coon if you just said that? Well, they can in fact be coons at times. Yes, niggas and all the rest. And yet many of us in America need to stop being so sensitive with this all political correct bullshit and all the rest, and stop killing and all the rest pertaining to the races and nationalities and groups with the division and dividing nature and all that. The sensitivity needs to go. There should in fact be harmony, because for me to be brown standing here and talk on this man is to say I had the freedom to say what I say and feel, even in relation to black folks, where even they get sensitive when I talk about them, the niggas and all the rest. So we can in fact face, I'm saying real people can in fact face and not the fakes. So so when it comes to all this, he owned the charts from the late 90s to the early 2000s, Durst. Yes. He was one of those individuals you in fact failed to avoid. I would in fact go for Vanilla Ice, because even that's my, I like that. I do, more so than Limp Bizkit. I would even go for Marilyn Manson, because he's different and unique. And yet for Fred Durst, I think after I get off this camera, I might in fact need to zone on out and listen, to even some Limp Bizkit from back in the day. Because it was swarms of people all over them and climbing over other people to even get to even him. And Limp Bizkit with all this, right? But so their style of music in fact was rock and metal fused with rap. That's a good mixture. I'm saying more than likely that was their style, authentic and all the rest, but more than likely to a record label somewhere major and flossy at that, possibly threw that in the mix with even them too. I'm saying later on in the career, as in how you brand and market even a Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit with all that sort of thing, in the soup and the meal that goes with it being served to the public. That goes back to diversity and it being found and expressed very well there, because to fuse some rock or metal with rap is to say you got gumbo on the persuasion. Gumbo, persuasion, right there. With that sort of thing. You got people out here that don't like that sort of thing. Sometimes racist people, whether white, black, Mexican, whatever, don't like the mixing and the fuses of cultures, and yet it should in fact be there because that sort of thing in fact bring groups of people of differences together, crossing crossing color lines and borders and all the rest. Yes, it helps to not just listen to one type of music is all I'm trying to say. So over the yellow brick road in the rainbow with even that. You caught that? Did anybody catch that? Anybody remember the feud between Durst and Eminem? I vaguely remember it myself. I remember more of Stan with Eminem. Characters and all the rest pertaining to Eminem and the music and all what he likes to sell to say you never know who you're gonna get in combat with even that. Eminem, because even he has been known to pick fights pertaining to the battle and all the rest, right? And to be Fred Durst is to get put in the dirt, I'm saying, because people in fact want to say, well, Eminem is bigger so we value him more, so let's just ditch a Fred Durst. Well, I don't even know. I'm just wondering, did Eminem kill Fred Durst off or something with the battle? That's funny in itself. I'm saying Fred Durst fans are in fact gonna be pissed by the limelight my own, and yet I ain't got no fame, as in I'm not chasing for it, right? That's off the hook. It's because to be a no call, no show, even on stage, is to say, what do you have? Possibly a return on a ticket. I don't know. Fred Durst, where you at, love? So yeah, Durst, the feud, even with him and the group Slipknot, that wasn't they feud. I don't know, the rap battles. I wonder if I made videos pertaining to artists and their battles and a war with that, and possibly the killing and all that, and the leaching process, what goes with that sort of thing. As in, people don't know much more about these feuds and these battles pertaining to public relations and mass media marketing, and yet I do, and yet I can't speak on that sort of thing, and yet I had to just throw that one out there, the loose string. So yes, Durst's feud with the group Slipknot wasn't so bad, and yet it's been said this whole, gosh, the stuff people be knowing, even myself, in relation to these feuds, man. It just, let me just shut that down. But shouts out to New York, they know. Because the whole feud and all the rest, well, let me leave it alone. So maybe Durst is the type of individual who loves to lead a normal life, seeming he's all hidden away with the presence and all the rest. Maybe he wants to live a normal life outside of the limelight. Which could be why he's so quiet and say not really in the news or hasn't been in the news lately. Because some fans will get kind of skeptical enough just to question, is something wrong on his end? Because sometimes even rock artists, heavy metal artists, rap artists sometimes be feeling very suicidal, which is why they walk away from the public. Not walking away as in disowning but which is why the limelight is dim. Because sometimes depression is there and you don't know that sort of thing is there, right? And you just be like, man, I ain't seen such and such, and I ain't seen such and such. A lot of times they're depressed. But then you have individuals that are not. They're in fact working on film projects and stuff. You just don't know that sort of thing is coming later, right? But I said that even on Heather Locklear's video, when people go missing in the works, you do want to question, well, where are they and why? Some people become fans sometimes, and even artists going missing and disappearing, right? And yet they weren't snatched by anybody, right? They just choose to opt out of the limelight, right? You do in fact have individuals that become fans of those sort of people because they show up to offer support because they can sense and believe something is wrong on the other side, right? And yet I still don't think with Fred Durst that's one of these cases. I just think He just likes the normalcy. So many individuals do. You got celebrities out here that in fact have secret children too. Celebrities, yes, and they try to do certain things as in to protect their children's identity pertaining to the normalcy and their children not being seen and advertised and all that in the news and in mass media all around the globe and stuff. It's to give even those children normalcy, right? Because to be famous and be all around the limelight all the time is to say you're going to always be expected to be on. They call you when you're on. There's drama in that. Some people, in fact, go to drama school for the performance and all the rest, right? But if to say you're carrying yourself in the limelight a certain way is to say that's, in fact, a package, right, that has to be sold. Your celebrity stardom, right? And to be around fame, you being in the limelight, like how I'm sitting at this light right here, is to say whatever you're draped in, your persona and all that, public persona. When I stated how Bill Cosby, the real him, is not his celebrity figure persona, is not, right? Same thing with even a Fred Durst or any one of them, right? It's to say once they're around the limelight all the time, they have to always be that way. That's what you call being on all the time, right? Some people don't like to live that way all the time because they have to carry the weight of that. There's tragedy in that, as in you got to constantly follow up and keep up with your media stories and all the rest. That, in fact, tires some people out, as in they can't withstand that because they feel like they're always constantly being watched and fingers are always constantly being pointed at them and all the rest. Yes, PR work and all the right with teams and all that sort of thing. To be watched all the time and knowing consumers are watching you and you're being a consumer or whatever of a celebrity, right? But I'm speaking more so on a celebrity. It's to know you got to always carry yourself in that one way. And the real you, in which the public don't know, can never be seen, which is why people, in fact, walk away and withdraw away from the fame with that so that they can be more normal. Because you never know where paparazzi, in fact, sit at and why to take photos of you, say when you're out at a restaurant or all type of stuff with that sort of thing. I know about even that, the strategy of even when celebrities get down and around pertaining to paparazzi. And yeah, I'm not going to speak on that. But how celebrities can, in fact, say put themselves there to be seen by paparazzi or might not want themselves to be seen, right? But that's still, once again, to say that you're always forced to be on, keeping up with yourself. You're constantly on having to keep up with yourself and what you're going to say, what you're not, possibly how you're going to dress and how you're going to react, even to scandal if it involves somebody else, or even if you did the scandal whatever way, right, yourself, right, with teams of people, right? For some people with fame, having it, that's too much work for them. If that was my type of work, I might, in fact, love and enjoy that because you're, in fact, selling a product which is, in fact, yourself, but you're not selling yourself to the devil. No, you're just marketing and advertising yourself. But once again, that would, in fact, drain some of these famous people that have that. Because the more you're closer to the limelight, the more people are going to know about you, want to know about you and all the rest. Yeah, it's, in fact, going to be there. And so that is going to impose no privacy on your end, which is why, too, a Fred Durst or any other individual that's, was famous in that way will sometimes go hide out or something like that. Because it had too many people in your business to say, well, damn, what else do I have left to myself? The public now owns everything because, see, to be famous and start putting your business out in mass media, you being portrayed all over the globe in media and the news and all the rest is to say, now the public, in fact, not owns your identity as in them letting you know what they want to see and what they don't like. And now with you coming out, telling certain secrets and all the rest, now the public, in fact, own that as well, as in now they own you. Celebrities sometimes go in hiding with that. I'm saying because of that. It's too much pressed upon them in relation to press releases and all the rest. And them not wanting to keep up with all that, because once you start putting out stories, you got to keep putting them out. And once again, keeping up. I just said that 5 times. And portraying yourself in that same way, whatever you done branded yourself as. So yes, I said that about his Instagram being full of those vintage vehicle station wagons, right? But when it comes to let me see, 2014, oh, the vehicle, if anybody's asking, what's the vehicle he in fact posts over and over with the caption, screen caption, not Twitter, Instagram, I'm sorry, let me clean that up, not Twitter, it's Instagram, about the vehicles. It's in fact the Chevy Caprice. The old school Chevy Caprice is the make and model of the vehicle in which he loves and adores. Go over there on Instagram and send him a shout out or something. So, reported in 2015, Durst was banned, yes, from the Ukraine by the Ukraine government for 5 years. And the ban, yes, it will in fact be removed in the year of 2020. He was banned by the Ukraine government. And that sort of ban, it came from conflict with the country's security service. Sometimes when you're an artist, many of these celebrities, because you're misfit to begin with, you're misfit, you don't fit in with regular society, as in the way you carry yourself and all that, right? And so to go somewhere else outside is to say you're gonna be targeted for the simple fact that you don't carry yourself like average, normal, everyday, breathing human beings. And that's a way to get banned even from, any country or anywhere else, land, their government doing it. Because they don't want you to come over to the place of where you're visiting, say it's Europe or anywhere, right? Anywhere. Russia, various parts, London. You're coming over there and you're being a misfit. They feel because you're a person, a high caliber celebrity with high influence, that you might in fact start influencing their very own people, which is sometimes too why they ban you. Because to be a misfit is to know you got a mouth. Sometimes that can be reckless, and how you carry yourself, and more than likely because you're into heavy metal, rock, and rap, and all the rest with that. Fred Durst, or even a Limp Bizkit, even if they wanted to, even in 2018, is to say that's a very highly influential name, Fred Durst or Limp Bizkit, and going somewhere, Fred Durst, over to the Ukraine, is to say they not gonna want you influencing their children and their kids and all the rest, even in relation to security and stuff like that. Because even when people travel over there be security issues too. And sometimes none in relation to what I spoke on, with public relations and all that, the tactics in which celebrities own, possess, and use to sell themselves and them going somewhere, right? And being in the news, such as being in the Ukraine somewhere and then being on their news, right? The Middle East is like that as well. You got places they don't, outside of America. Europe is highly open, and I spoke about that on my Whitney Houston video. They're highly open and accepting, and yet not, depending on the location and area, I should say. Some places can in fact be just as restrictive as America, right? And not all places are when you go to Europe. Asia is more strict. But with that sort of thing, it's to say you be a celebrity figure, you get on the TV, you get on the news, and you're like in the Ukraine or something, and then you say something, or you might in fact be there and you out something that you don't like and agree with while you're in the Ukraine. You're outing and saying stuff that you don't like about the Ukraine or something like that. It's to say more than likely the Ukraine government is going to ban you as well. Because they'll feel like you're coming there to visit. Because even Fred Durst, I think, and sensed that he was going to try to purchase either a home or some land over there or something. So to be that famous is to say even the government or somebody will feel that you're trying to be a voice to the people, of the people, and you could be trying to stand on top of government while you're doing it. And so to shut that down is to ban you even with the security measure. And possibly you're not coming back, because some individuals are banned from, I just said, that's what I'm speaking on. And not just Europe, other places as well, where celebrities been banned because, that just has to be shared with that. Because some people, in fact, don't know how to think for themselves, and they can be over in the Ukraine or something like that, and say Fred Durst move over there, and then he get on the news and get the talking all wild, free, and crazy like Hollywood folks do is to say the people over in the Ukraine might in fact follow that, as in him not wanting to follow the laws of Ukraine, him not wanting to follow the laws and state and stuff on TV. That's gonna in fact be over in the Ukraine, and then it's gonna find its way back into America. But say while he's living over there, is to say other people are going to follow in his footsteps with that. And then you got this government that will be all out of hand with that. Them not being able to control their own people, which is why they try to put celebrities in their place with that and keep them out. That's a good lesson from my end to yours for those that don't know. Helps to remain global in the mindset, global spirit. So Fred Durst, pertaining to acting and thriller films. Fred Durst, the man himself, in fact teamed up with John Travolta for a film. I said a Tim. Shouts out to my Uncle Tim. I in fact got an uncle named Tim. Sorry about that sort of thing. Not to out my uncle, no. But yes, John Travolta in fact teamed up with a Fred Durst for a film entitled Moose. Like the animal moose, that was the title of the film. And in which Travolta plays lead as a obsessive stalker who is fixated, yes, he's in fact fixated on a star in the film, which begins to tear the actor's life apart. So in the film, there was in fact an individual that was obsessive and being a stalker, yes, on the star celebrity you want to in fact consider the person that was playing in the film, not the actual person but the role, right? And so in the movie, the portrayal was showing, yes, the actor in their life falling apart based upon the stalking. That in fact happens in real life with fame and the celebrities. Some celebrities have stalkers in which they can't get rid of, and yet that's what bodyguards for, possibly 2 or 3 of them, right? I want to see that movie, so he should put out Moose. Durst, yes, he needs to put that out so that I can see that and possibly rewind it 2 times so I can make sense of it. But yes, like so many others have yet to hear, I myself being one of those individuals, I have yet to hear, as well as the public, we have yet to hear of the release date on Moose, that film. You got people that talk outside of media, or there's a small print and yet not everybody sees it everywhere all across the globe. Yet in relation to, say, a release is supposedly coming for, yes, the film being released 2019, and yet it's still not all over, yeah, in the news and mass media and all that to keep him alive with that is to say that he don't want that there. He just want it quietly and brushed off with that, right? So yes, filmmaking, when I asked in the beginning, will Fred Durst, the man himself, being missing and unsung? There's in fact TV show Unsung, we all know, right? But his main thrill is in fact filmmaking. That has become his focus quietly and highly mysterious at that, in the free time of his. Seeming Durst has so much free time these days outside of this whole filmmaking craft that he loves to do. I wonder what he likes to do in his free time. Somebody might need to go call him and ask, or bring him over here and we can do a Skype business conference call with that and film it right here on video for all to be seen. That would be fun in itself, wouldn't it? That comes later in the near future, signs are telling, right? Isn't what to watch for, because even I can be sporadic as in what I do, like to talk to, or who I like to talk to, and all the rest, right? Even on camera. So anybody remember when Durst outed the fact that he hated some of his fans? Not too many outsiders would know that, but there was at one point when Durst came out and stated, yes, he in fact outed the fact that he hated some of his fans. That happened around the late 90s or so. He felt many of those fans were the same type of people he dealt with during his childhood when he was a misfit. He still is one. He ain't never left. So yeah, what's the point with that? in relation to the lyrics and all the rest, and him having fans, and then you have bullies and all that other stuff. Sometimes when you first get started in your career, you start changing and all the rest, right? Some people, in fact, pick up bullies and stuff like that along the way, even sometimes before, even from high school, and they're going into being an artist and artistry, right? Forming habits and stuff, and branding and all that, right? And the make and model that comes and goes with that is to say not everybody's going to like your stuff, and they're going to try to tear it down in the process, right? And it helps to keep going with that, and then bullies come along with that sort of thing. You make music aimed at them to distract yourself away from them by spitting in their face because they're bullies, right? To let them know you're not going to be trying to tear down my stuff and do all this and that to me and all this and that. That's what Fred Durst, in fact, went through and endured, right? With the bullies and all that. That's where the lyrics, in fact, came in, as in that was their point in position. I just said that 2 times for those that didn't catch it. And yet the way that I said it was kind of off course. It was all sporadic like this, the way that I said it. It was like falling down the steps or something, the way I just said that. So yeah, that was the point of the lyrics of Durst and all the rest. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm itching right there. I'm itching. So yes, I might in fact have to look more into Durst, and I said that as well, because even he's a kindred soul as well, kindred of the industry misfits. And misfits in the world, in fact, represent goodness and wholesomeness. Yes, we in fact do. Because if it wasn't individuals such as a Fred Durst or I or Oprah Winfrey or Janet Jackson or a calling card pertaining to, yes, mass media discovery and whoever else you choose to look at, right? With that sort of thing, is to say, well, everything will just be one way. Everybody will all just think and believe and perceive one way, and yet it helps to be so different. It, in fact, for you to be so different is for you to be placed possibly by even God or the universe to show other people outside of you that there's, in fact, various ways to perceive life and not just in one direction. Helps to be different. So yeah, Fred Durst, that's a missing child alert once again, and I think I'm gonna end this video. I tried to keep even that short despite it being somewhat long. But I want you, the viewer, if you're a fan of Fred Durst or you have been, is to say, well, what's going on with that? Are you still a fan? Are you still checking him out? Have you became a fan more recently? Because see, the reason why I'm pointing that out too, pertaining to people sometimes becoming people's fans later and not in the beginning, or say certain famous people, even in advertising, when you're seeing and knowing that it's there, right? Is because with music in the industry shifting as much as it is, the industry, entertainment industry shifting, is to say sometimes the music is not at the capacity or level where you want it to be. And you being a consumer wanting to consume it, and yet you're seeing it and perceiving it as being junk food because it's not as good and authentic as it used to be back in the day in the late 90s, right? Things in fact change and grow and revamp, and evolution plays into that, right? No caveman involved, and yet it should be, right? Even in 2018, that's how individuals in fact become fans of people later on in life. And sometimes not before, because if you go and you say, well, I'm going to turn on the TV, I'm going to turn on the radio to see somebody, a rock star, rap star, famous person, just to check them out or something, right? And yet you ain't really with whatever they're putting on the show, and all the rest is to say, well, let me go find somebody else, such as somebody from the late 90s. That being Limp Bizkit and yeah, Fred Durst or other people. That's how people, in fact, find some of these artists. Because to be turned away is to find something else by personal choice. A hand-picking selection of even you being a consumer and seeing what you want to see and watch and why and when, and nobody telling you when you should, right? That's the point of TV and radio, right? But the longer we go, the music just is not getting any more better. I'm not saying it, no, I'm not saying it mockery, but it's just not taste buds, in fact, change. The way you, when you grow older, and sometimes you sometimes even listen to people and grow up with people, entertainment industry, as in who you like. Taste buds, sometimes you grow apart. You like them because they were highly fashionable and all the rest, right? And then they change, which somewhat makes you change, but not completely. Just you changing, being their consumer, and yet not anymore. I can point in various directions pertaining to fame, entertainment industry, and all the rest with any of these people, because there's even a growing process of growing. And I'm sure even with Fred Durst, him not being all on the TV is to say that's one of them, which could be why he's so quiet over there, is because to grow up even too is sometimes is to grow completely, where you just say, well, I'm completely grown now, so I just do manly things, possibly walk around the house, cook, barbecue. Some people like to do that. People, famous people, and you don't know because you don't see it. It's not on TV. Them go outside to their backyard barbecuing and having some beer or some smoky or whatever smokes or something like that, and just chill, and yet they just doing them, right? Fred Durst himself could really never be replaced either, right? And yet, yeah, the choice of selection and who you like and why. I think that is all to be said about that one, because that's just so interesting and odd, because I wouldn't have thought in 2018 that I would be, say, not tuning in to even these younger generations of kids that's coming along in the industry. I said that in my Whitney Houston video as well, how I've been tuning in a lot less and going back, flipping back in time to the old music of the 70s, sometimes even before. I've been known to sit and listen and chill back, laid back to even some music from the far back as the 1930s. I have. Even, yeah, time after, even doo-wop and all that. My preference is, yes, so wide. I can sit and listen to anything and just let it play, right? Yeah. But it can't be all over the place like how I'm doing this video. I'm saying it can't be. I'm known to jump topics. I'm known to jump discussions. I'm also known to jump flavors and all the other, right? As time go on, I wonder what is going to be going on with Fred Durst, and not only that pertain to the industry, I'm wondering what is always coming next, because it helps to even be prepared for that sort of thing, as in where these young artists are borrowing from old artists such as a Fred Durst. Trust and believe there's artists out here right now that's borrowing from even a Fred Durst with that sort of thing, his style, swag, and even Limp Bizkit. That's industry for you. That's in fact how it's done. So I think that's all to be said. I'm just wondering. I think what even Fred Durst, I mean, that's his personal choice with that sort of thing. I think he should in fact make more films. I feel like for people that feel whether they're fame, because even consumers have an effect too on how good you're selling, even in 2018, you being a famous person, and say some of them fans walking away from you because even they grew up or y'all grew apart, the famous person in the following, right? It's to say even if Fred Durst was trying to return and come back and be more in the limelight, it's to say he should do more films. Film directing, instead of possibly him being in the limelight or something. Directing more films. I felt even that about Michael Jackson. If he wouldn't have died, that would have been more than likely the direction that even Michael Jackson would have went. Completely into film directing and all type of films with that, and placing his children there, because even Paris, even in relation to her acting and stuff like that. That would have been Michael Jackson's lane as well. But Fred Durst, because see, to hide behind a camera is to say, well, nobody's there, and yet they are. They in fact directing. Because see, Fred Durst, he's doing that already in his private time. I just don't think he wants to be there. Because people do question, well, maybe he fell off or something. No, that's not all the way completely true. Sometimes people, I said that already, they just don't want to be there. That's why they're not there. So, recommended for you. Paula, shouts out to Paula. Can click here to add the favorites. Each one of these, in fact, have a description. Owned and operated by description. Owned and operated by Discovery. Recommended for you. ID logo up in the far left. What's playing right now, live now up in the far left is American Monster. That is, in fact, on right now. So, Evo lives here. The description, you can add to favorites. Fatal Vows. Yes. Homicide Hunter. Lieutenant Joe Kenda, my dude. The Perfect Murder. American Monster. I just spoke about that, how it's being played. Yes. Right now. Live now. Twisted Sisters. Got Blood Relatives. Red Rum. Bill Cosby. I spoke about that the other day. Yes. The American Scandal. In relation to him. And all this jail with all this. Who would have ever thought that Bill Cosby would in fact be facing some jail time or something with that? That's strange. As time goes on, I'm saying how things change. People grow and evolve. Let me show that. The shows. On last night. You can click through any one of these and get a grand description however you like to with the safekeeping with that. And when I mean safe keep, I mean the key sits right here for you to sign in with your provider so that you can get all the way into this. That's why it's there, because it's locked. You got to let us at Discovery know what your provider is so you can get in. And two, depending on apps and all the rest, sometimes that fits right in with that too, what you're watching. All this. Unlocked, baby. Let me just scroll through as I go. ID original series. Any one of these. Go original. Schedule preview. That sits there. Support the Save the Children's Relief efforts. That's one of my favorites. You can in fact donate to that by clicking right here. Donate here if you like, so choose. It's always good for the public to get involved with that. Crime Feed News. To click on this right in here. Bill Cosby in that head. I'd always do that. I gotta stop doing that. Coming in, with the scroll down on even that and joking on his head with the pudding remark about that, right? But to click on this and in fact be directed to Crime Feed. Yes, news in relation to that Crime Feed on the outside is what I'm saying. It's gonna send you there. And even I should, right? So, to receive a newsletter is to type in your email and click next, and you would in fact be receiving something from us, Discovery. I think that's all to be said about that. Fred Durst looking kind of hood right up above my head right now with that photo. He did. I think that is so intriguing as well as elevating to mix hip-hop with heavy metal, because those two things are brothers anyway, as in they make the connection with that. They're flip sides, reversal of one another. Say rock or heavy metal, however you choose with that, because they're different type of genres. Heavy metal, rock, and then hip-hop, right? Rock or heavy metal is in fact a reversal of hip-hop itself. And not too many people know that, as in it's danger and dangerous involved with that. With the misfits and all of that, and destruction with that, and telling real heartfelt stories with that, and the feeling, emotion, and spirituality with that, despite no religion being involved. So I think that's all to be said. Helps to have a melting pot in life. Love to New York City, to be exact with that. So, I hope you enjoy your day. I will truly enjoy mine. And I'm gone.